I'm gonna try something weird this week, and that is I'm hiding the microphone in my hair, sort of. We'll see how that goes.
No, 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 Amani, please, no, don't do that. The audio's gonna be so scratchy, please don't, no!
Amani. Amani? Good one. I am on week 10 of The Artist Way. This week has been probably the most impactful for me in terms of my journey with The Artist Way and also my journey with this channel. I feel a renewed sense of hope and finding like the fun in the process. I think that's what I lost. No, I haven't done the tasks, but the essays and the wisdom from the chapter for this week have resonated with me deeply, and they have hit points that I think are really, really significant in my creative journey. Maybe I should hold the book up. I gotta be camera savvy. My acting coach, my instructor tells me that I need to get better at being camera savvy. I'll be down here reading, I'll be up here. See what I'm reading. Week 10. Recovering a sense of self-protection. This week we explore the perils that can ambush us on our creative path. Because creativity is a spiritual issue, many of the perils are spiritual perils. In the essays, tasks, and exercise of this week, we search out the toxic patterns that we cling to block our creative flow. This week was a read. Some of the blocks that we cling to, she kind of lists like, for some people, food is a creativity issue. I wasn't really going for a lot of the things that she was listing at first. Food, alcohol, drugs, those are ways that people can block their creativity. And those are a lot of things that people can be addicted to as well. So kind of thinking about what kinds of things that we can be addicted to that keep us distracted from our creativity and from our well-being. And I wasn't really going for any of that until she mentioned an obsession with painful love. And that's kind of the topic that I was avoiding talking about last week.
It's something that I've also been afraid to talk about. Nah, I still think I'm afraid to talk about that.
I do struggle with obsessive love and like a lack thereof. Here in the book it says, reaching for the painful thought, they become instant victims rather than feel their own considerable power. Quote, if only he or she would just love me. Da 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 da. No, like that's so me. Um, I was obsessed with this unrequited love that I had, and the bubble of that was burst recently, and I think that kind of that aided in a really big block. I felt blocked for weeks, even on this journey. I felt hopeless and lost, and that wasn't helping. I felt like I couldn't catch a break in like all areas of life, financially, love. I've got friends and I love my friendships, but I'm like, I think sometimes I focus too much on the lack. I had that job interview this week. I didn't get it. That got me down. Yeah, that's sorry. I'm going off on a tangent. She kind of got me with this one. Has a love obsession blocked my creativity? Indeed, it has. For part of the love obsession, when I was really in it and in that obsessiveness, it fueled my creativity. And I was writing for love. And when I realized that that love could never be, I didn't know what I was really doing anymore, like what the purpose was. Week 8, in recovering a sense of strength, when we talk about like loss and setbacks, Cameron writes, I learned when hit by loss to ask the right question, what next, instead of why me? And a lot of what I've been doing recently is a lot of why me? Why me? Why didn't I get this job? Why didn't that person love me? Why didn't, this happen when I wanted it to? The what's next is a really scary question, especially if my answer is I don't know. Seeing this on the page, seeing Julia Cameron write about obsession with painful love is one of the reasons that artists can block themselves or choose to block. It made me feel less alone in my obsession with painful love, and it made me understand that like it's something that I can get over, or I don't know. I couldn't relate to like the alcohol, the drugs, the workaholism, junk food as ways that we can block our creativity. And I was like, well, that's not working for me. This book isn't working for me. But seeing this is like, okay, I'm not that special. It was a little bit humbling. I'm not that special. What I'm experiencing is not that unique or new. Sometimes I forget that like nothing is new, and that my overall experience in this world is unique, but a lot of the specific situations that I've been in, so many others have been in before. So many others are in the same situation right now. So many people are going to be in that situation, and there's a comfort in that and an encouragement to get through it. And then there's a section this week about drought. In any creative life, there are dry seasons. Droughts tell us that they will last forever and that we will not. So what do when we're in a drought? We stumble on. And for Cameron, she says to do this through the morning pages. I've actually this week lost steam with the morning pages. I've been doing them until this morning. I actually skipped them this morning, and I did it on purpose. The past couple of days I've been only doing 1 page, 2 pages. I just haven't had it in me to do it first thing in the morning. And I actually felt that struggling to come up with something to write, because it felt like a struggle. It didn't help me clear my consciousness. It drug up a lot of like my negative self-talk and a lot of what the censor, as Cameron writes about, would want to say. I made a decision to skip the morning pages. I'll probably do them tonight and see how I feel about that. As I get towards the end of this book, I'm starting to anticipate what parts of it I will take with me intentionally. And I do like the idea of journaling every day, because again, it's something I'm familiar with, but I don't know if every single morning 3 longhand pages in a standard notebook is going to be something that I can keep up with. Cameron writes that during a drought, we are fighting with God. We have lost faith in the great creator and in our creative selves. I think I said it in one of my previous videos that I just have lost faith in a lot of different things.
And I've lost a lot of faith in a lot of different things.
So I'm in a drought. Reading about a drought, realizing that that's what I'm experiencing, it again gives me hope and encouragement that droughts do end. It says it right here. And then the next section talks about fame. Fame is a spiritual drug, according to Julia Cameron. Fame is something that I have always wanted. I'm not going to lie. It's something that I've always wanted and thought about. I have tried to justify it. I've tried to not want it. Fame has always been on my mind ever since I was a kid. Focusing on fame creates a continual feeling of lack. There is never enough of the fame drug. Sure. Sure. The only cure for the fame drug is creative endeavor. Only when we are being joyfully creative can we release the obsession with others and how they are doing. I'll try. I will try. The fame drug is one that I'm probably addicted to. I've never even tasted it really, but I just know that it's something I would want. And I do find myself comparing myself to others, being, obsessed with what they're doing, how they're doing, what they have that I don't have, how I can get what they have, what do they think of me, being obsessed with the perception of myself, how do I come off to others. And then she talks about competition. I feel like I'm just being read for filth this chapter. I like competition. I consider myself to be very competitive. According to Cameron, competition is another spiritual drug. The desire to be better can choke off the simple desire to be. As artists, we cannot afford this thinking. Let the critics spot trends. Let reviewers concern themselves with what's in and what's not. Let us concern ourselves first and foremost with what it is within us that is struggling to be born. That's really good advice. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. When we compete with others, when we focus on our creative concerns on the marketplace, we are really jostling with other artists in a creative foot race. This is the sprint mentality. What's wrong with sprinting? The foot race, the sprint mentality is always the ego's demand to be not just good, but also first and best. Guys, I'm a Leo, and I'm trying not to be as into astrology, but astrology is always there, and I see it all the time. I literally see it in people's faces, y'all. I can see when somebody's a Taurus. They have a certain face, and I'm a Leo, and I have a certain ego. And it's loud, and it demands that I be great, and that I be better than others, and that I be famous. And I feel like my ego sometimes has gotten me through droughts. The ego's demand and my like commitment to myself through ego is how I've kept going for so long, but it might not be the sustainable way to continue as an artist. Yeah, and then there's the tasks that I haven't done, but I'll get to it. The wisdom of this week was really, really good for me specifically. Things are just looking up, and it's a choice that I've made. I do have to go right now because I'm going to buy a pair of roller skates off of Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah. Good stuff.